Tzu Chi volunteers head to villages near Mount Sinabung, giving out rice and epidemic prevention supplies. Tzu Chi volunteers in China visit 120 families of environmental cleaners in Shimen, Hunan Province. Selamat datang ke DaAi Headlines, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. Thank you for joining us. Mount Sinabung, a volcano in Indonesia's Sumatra island, recently erupted, and Tzu Chi volunteers went to the nearby villages to give out rice and epidemic prevention supplies. Let's take a look.
The volcanic clouds and dust after eruption climbed 5,000 meters high into the sky. After Mount Sinabung eruption, emergency status remains in effect. Although the air is polluted by the eruption's dust and smoke, nearby residents continue to farm since they need income.
Today we are here to give supplies and love to the locals, and now we face COVID-19. This must have impacted their lives a lot. I hope that the supplies may lessen the burdens of the people living in Kabupaten Karo.
Minimal bisa terbantu lah masyarakat Tanah Karo ini.
5 tons of heavy rice bags are delivered along with 1,000 DaAi instant noodles and 2,000 fabric masks. The supplies are given out at the same time to local military headquarters for distribution later.
Terima kasih.
I thank you for the help you have given us. On behalf of the government, I will take the supplies and distribute it to residents in need. I have already commanded town mayors and the military headquarters to be responsible for distribution.
Untuk didistribusikan. Kegiatan pertanian masyarakat.
The volcanic eruption impacted the daily lives of residents, like the vegetables planted in the farmlands. Those are now covered in dust. Without harvest, there's no income, and Tzu Chi supplies help make up the deficiency.
Dengan bantuan ini paling tidak bisa meringankan beban masyarakat yang terdampak.
The volcanic eruption and the pandemic had brought severe impacts to locals, but the supplies given out by Tzu Chi had stabilized their situation.
In Southern California, Tzu Chi volunteers gave out 500 masks around mid-May. With the rise of intensity during this time, COVID prevention supplies are experiencing an increasing demand, and the City of Arcadia had sent out requests to US Tzu Chi Headquarters for assistance. Let's take a look.
Volunteers from US Tzu Chi Headquarters have brought COVID prevention supplies to the City of Arcadia's Recreation and Community Service Department. To both the Vice Mayor and City Council member, these supplies come from the love and care of their motherland, because both of them are from Taiwan.
I'm thankful to Tzu Chi, really thankful, especially in the area of PPE materials, because we lack a lot of those. We use around 1,000 masks on a daily basis.
Through this opportunity, we wanted to promote vegetarianism. The supplies we gave out include Tzu Chi's instant rice and instant noodles. We also taught them how to use it and the origins of these items. This is to help them further understand Tzu Chi as a whole.
During the pandemic period, even outdoor gatherings must be limited. But looking at Tzu Chi's spirit of benefiting others, the Vice Mayor compliments locals who also gave in supplies.
Now the people know you just can't protect yourselves. You have to protect the people around you, your community. This is why a lot of residents sent supplies here in order to help others and to aid the community.
In order to stop the pandemic's growth, Tzu Chi collaborated with the local community, forming a defense line against the virus while promoting vegetarianism.
Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital cooperated with National Zhongzheng University to develop a mask recognition system. This technology is developed using AI technology with a database of tens of thousands of face samples collected. The innovation of this medical technology has made epidemic prevention even more secure.
Check with red box immediately and issue a warning sign to find people who are not wearing masks. This is an AI mask recognition system developed by Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital and National Zhongzheng University.
This technology is developed mainly through collecting a large amount of data, using artificial intelligence, technology to learn, automatic real-time identification. The more difficult part, which is, for example, various types of masks, mask colors, side faces, covering the face by hands, or recognizing non-human faces, or when there are too many people.
Epidemic prevention must be thorough and cautious at all times. The combination of the technology and medical care not only reduces the human labor burden, but also ensures the safety of doctors and patients.
用大数据的分析，
Using big data analysis to develop such a warning system that automatically detects human wearing a mask. I think this is a very important protection process for a hospital where a large number of people enter and exit. We are very grateful for such results to strengthen our patient safety.
It is hoped that the cooperation between academics and medical care will help eliminate the epidemic to safeguard people's life.
Pregnant women over 34 years old are usually recommended to undergo amniocentesis. However, the long thin needle inserted into the uterus always makes people worry. Now, there's a new screening method called NIPT, or non-invasive prenatal test, which involves drawing mother's blood to test the baby's chromosome. If any abnormalities are found, amniocentesis is then needed to be performed.
Because the baby is too small to be seen and felt in my tummy, so of course I'm worried if he has some conditions that we cannot find out in time.
Giving birth to a healthy baby is the greatest wish of parents. In order to confirm whether the fetal chromosomes are normal, pregnant mothers over 34 years old can undergo an amniotic fluid test at 16 to 18 weeks of pregnancy. But invasive examinations always make mothers worried. Now, fetal chromosome can be tested by NIPT, which is known as non-invasive prenatal test. At 10 weeks of pregnancy, the blood of the pregnant woman is drawn for the test.
There are some baby DNA or chromosomal fragments in the placenta. These fragments will flow into mother's blood. We can detect them by drawing mother's blood to see if there are any chromosomal abnormalities or even the risk of genetic abnormalities of the baby.
The doctor emphasizes that mothers can take NIPT at their own expenses. It is a screening tool and can only be used for risk prediction. If there is any abnormality, it must be diagnosed by the standard amniotic fluid test.
For some Down syndrome or problems related to chromosome 21, etc., the detection rate of NIPT can reach as high as 98%. But its disadvantage is that not all the 23 pairs of chromosomes can be clearly seen. That means not all genetic fragments can be checked at all. So if the NIPT result is suspected to be abnormal, it's still needed to undergo amniotic fluid test to go for further examination.
If the NIPT test is normal, the doctor will also recommend continuous follow-up with ultrasound and other obstetric tests to ensure the health of the baby.
According to statistics, for every 10,000 children under the age of 18 in Taiwan, about 150 of them are suspected of being abused. And many people are not willing to report the issue because of the troublesome process which comes after it. Fortunately, domestic child protection policy has improved and the government has established child protection centers in 7 large hospitals across, where physicians can offer testimony about child abuse incidents through a special report. Follow a report as we learn more.
There are bruises on the butt. The abuser deliberately scalded him with hot water. There is a bite mark on the body, should be bitten by an adult. This one is broken. 2, 3, 4 here. The 5th, the 6th, and the 7th broken bone. So the dozen broken bones are obviously caused by abuse. Something hard was used to hit down on the skull, where a hole has been left in the middle.
Dr. Shah encounters the shocking scene of child abuse almost every day.
Of course my heart hurts so much. As long as we have a chance, we will want to help them redress their grievances.
If an emergency room physician suspects a child abuse case or a report to the hospital, social worker is carried out with an investigation being undertaken in the hospital. In addition to the medical and social work systems, police officers also need to become involved. A special women and children's protection team receives a report and an investigator goes to the hospital to investigate and notifies police bureau to send personnel to collect evidence against the abuser. The evidence is later used to prosecute the perpetrator.
I hope that the entire report of child abuse can be single whip law. We need to find the evidence, such as the weapon of abuse. For example, if the abuser hits with a water pipe, which must be searched for, we must have the evidence search experience.
Child abuse incidents have existed since ancient times, but in the past the prosecuting system was not perfect.
At that time, many child abuse cases occurred a second time, and after we notified them a third time, where the child was injured again. It's really hard for us to accept this.
3 years ago, the Ministry of Health and Welfare allocated funds to simultaneously establish child protection centers in 7 large hospitals across Taiwan.
If the doctor reports a child abuse case, which goes to court, the doctor will be summoned, and the doctor may think that this court session is too troublesome. So now, the child care center makes a report backing up the doctor's observations.
Long-term cooperation between Changgang Memorial Hospital and National Health Research Institute not only conducts research on child abuse, but also cooperate with police and courts to host evidence collection courses.
The police are the first to come to the front line of child abuse cases. He needs to examine injuries and collect evidence. These all require professional skills, so prosecutors and judges also need evidence collection education.
According to the law, medical staff, police, social workers, and teachers must report child abuse incidents. Otherwise, cases will be hidden, which may involve malfeasance and result in lawsuits. As a result, 82% of suspected child abuse cases in Taiwan come from reports from personnel in these units.
More than 40% of child abuse cases are due to the so-called insufficient parental education.
Reasons for child abuse: parents lack parental education knowledge, such as getting angry when children are crying. There are also marriage or cohabitation problems that anger the children. In addition, the parents themselves have poor emotional control and financial difficulties due to unemployment or parents having problems with alcohol or drugs. And finally, the young parents who have children before they are ready.
A baby was born without mental preparation can often lead to child abuse. Such cases involving young couples are a relatively large proportion of overall cases.
Young and energetic parents may not be able to control their emotions and may hurt their children. Additionally, it is not easy for doctors to find evidence of child abuse because many parents will lie.
Mom said that this bruise was caused because she has just fallen over, but this bruise that we see is more than a day old, so we don't think she is telling the truth.
Child protection should mean that the abused person is protected, but whether the abuser can be punished is something that should be done after notification.
Abused children may have bruises, brain injuries, fractures, and psychological trauma. In order to save time, the Children and Adolescent Protection Center has set up a friendly outpatient clinic, while doctors gather together for diagnosis.
If the battered child has a physical injury, there may be many specialists involved. Maybe it is a brain injury, a scald, or a fracture. It requires a lot of cross-disciplinary professionals to deal with these problems.
When love turns to violence, will we heed the cries of these abused children? One can easily notify authorities by dialing 110 or 113 hotline to save these precious young lives.
Tzu Chi volunteers in China are evaluating people for the Winter Warmth Program. Volunteers from Changsha and Shimen paid their first visits to 120 families of the environmental cleaners in Shimen, Hunan Province, witnessing the suffering in life.
我们这次是第一次在石门关怀环卫工人，把这一份爱能够带给这样一个在基层工作、为这个城市的美容做出了很大贡献的工人们。
It's 3 in the morning, so it is dark out there. However, this is a routine for environmental cleaners.
They are at the bottom of the city with the lowest pay and doing the hardest work, so we must go into their lives.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Changsha, Hunan Province join hands with local volunteers to visit these environmental cleaners in Shimen.
I must get up at 2:30 in the morning because there are so many fallen leaves. There are so many that I can't finish sweeping them even at 7 o'clock.
These environmental cleaners work for at least 9 hours every day, making around $144 US a month. So it is hard to raise a family, and the burden is heavy on their minds.
If I don't buy my son's beer, he will beat me. We have such a bad luck. He has beaten both of us.
The old couples in the 70s are both environmental cleaners. Their son is paralyzed, so he is depressed and stays at home and drinks all the time.
You can give it a try and everything will become better. You should tidy yourself and walk out and you will see the whole world.
走进来去
We came to love them. Even if it's just hello, it will be like a shining lamp bringing light to their darkness. It makes me feel the sense of mission is getting heavy.
57 volunteers go to visit 120 families. Zhang Guojing, who is a Tzu Chi care recipient because he is half paralyzed, had received his handicapped driver's license, so he is a traffic volunteer.
This is all I can do because I can't do other work.
他能够通过那个改装的车
He drives that modified car to drive us to visit these environmental cleaners. So we witness the spirit of trying to become better.
These are evaluations by Tzu Chi volunteers for the winter relief program. The volunteers hope that their love can help these families to see the blooming of summer flowers.
Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter in Malaysia launched a neighborhood relief program. Volunteers walk into the community to learn about the needs of the applicants. Here's more.
I'm still suffering from pain now. It's so painful that I can't sleep at night.
With knees swelling and no back pain, 72-year-old Zhou Yuying can only walk on crutches.
My back is so painful.
Chi Chi volunteers came to care for her because she has applied for Chi Chi Neighborhood Relief Program.
I need to see a doctor, but I don't dare to go because I don't have money. The doctor said that I need to undergo acupuncture, yet I don't have extra money to pay for the treatment. So I asked the doctor to give me medicine to take for a week instead.
Zhou Yuying, who used to work in a restaurant, has her life affected due to the illness.
I have to pay the rent and the utility bill. I don't eat anything for breakfast. I only take vegetables. If I don't have money to buy vegetables, I'll buy vegetable juice to serve with rice instead.
Rasmi suffered from a stroke before. He has limited mobility and hence cannot work. His wife has lost a job due to the epidemic, and the family of 6 is currently living on the meager income of his daughter only.
I hope it can reduce some of my burden because I have to pay for children's tuition fees. Now my second daughter hasn't gone to college yet, so I need to save some money to buy a laptop and school supplies for her.
Walking into the forgettable corners of society and listen to the disadvantaged, it is hoped that the relief program can subsidize their needs in life so that they can also feel the warmth of society.
In Malacca, there's a mother called Sun Gyok Chin who started going meatless and her health improved. After being a dedicated vegetarian for 10 years, she has developed cooking skills for vegetarian food and even posts vegetarian recipes on her Facebook page, inviting more people to go meatless with her.
The vegetarian lotus leaf wrap is delicious and healthy. Sun Yuzhen's good cooking skills is highly appraised by her friends.
It's really delicious. My little boy can finish one and a half.
Sun Yuzhen loves cooking. Since 6 years ago, she started sharing simple vegetarian dish recipes on her Facebook page, which has already accumulated hundreds of recipes.
I wrote the recipe very precisely, so people who don't know how to cook can learn to do vegetarian dishes. I hope through this sharing, some friends who are not vegetarian will want to try. I think this is a good opportunity for them to try vegetarian food.
She has adopted a vegetarian diet for 10 years. With her good cooking skills, she and her family are getting healthier.
In fact, the biggest reason for me to be vegetarian is because of my body condition. My whole body was covered with red spots before. I just want to try going meatless to see if they will disappear.
I have been a vegetarian for 7 years. In fact, it's not difficult to be vegetarian because I love to eat vegetables and fruits when I was small.
I like to eat the vegetarian dishes she cooks. They're delicious.
Sun Yuzhen satisfies her family's stomach with delicious vegetarian food while fulfilling her friends' wishes through sharing vegetarian recipes on social platforms. By doing this, she will continue to inspire more people to go meatless.
The new semester is about to begin, and there are many old textbooks on campus that needs to be dealt with. After a school in Keelung collected these materials, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately mobilized to transport them to the recycling station for recycling.
In the school, paper books were gathered in piles, and Tzu Chi volunteers began to take action and sort them.
Because I'm doing recycling, I think it is a pity that so many papers in the school are not recycled. So I asked the teacher to do charity to classify them together, and then I put them together at outside door.
Volunteers carry out baskets of heavy paper. What's more physically demanding is that they have to move these recyclables from third floor to fourth floor. Sen Fengchun had an operation on her knee, but she has a secret on protecting her joints.
I can't walk easily. It's okay to climb the stairs, but I have to walk backwards down the stairs. I still have to do it. It's a blessing to be able to do it.
Volunteers are carrying things back and forth. Their clothes are weight due to sweat, but they are not tired because there is still a batch of supplies waiting to be carried in the underground parking lot.
I usually collect the recyclables in the school's restaurant. This time, it was the end of the semester, so the recyclables in the office have been collected. Today, we mobilized a lot of volunteers to help, so we ran 3 times for recycling.
After the recyclables are transported to the recycling station, the task is not over yet. The follow-up will have to be sorted by volunteers to be complete, because everyone is responsible for loving our earth.
The Taichung Jianxing Recycling Station has a number of Tzu Chi volunteers with special sewing expertise. They not only make masks to fight the epidemic, but also recycle the cloth from umbrellas to make attractive lunchbox bags.
After finishing sewing face masks, she immediately started sewing lunchbox bags.
It can resist the rain as it is waterproof, made from umbrella cloth. I then made it for her and it's quite nice. You can also change the style depending on what shape of lunchbox you have.
The material is recycled umbrella cloth and one might not even need a sewing machine.
It looks like a one-piece shape. That's it, it's done. Everyone cooperates together.
Frontline volunteers remove the thread and arrange the fabric, followed by handing it back to the back-end volunteers.
I like sewing very much. No material is difficult for me.
I feel weird if I haven't come for a day. It's a pleasure to come here.
Everyone often works so smooth that time goes by quickly. They even forget to stop for a while.
Shoulans, go drink water or go to the toilet. Don't keep sitting there all the time. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Volunteers' ingenuity has turned this umbrella cloth of different colors into a variety of bags for lunchboxes, which are attractive and can appeal to the public.
Neili Junior High School in Taoyuan County held a charity walking event to raise funds for the Xinglu Social Welfare Foundation to aid children facing delayed development. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.